Hello and welcome to this What If Deku was transported to Danmachi. This will happen after the overhaul raid, after Sir Night-Eye's death. If you can hear that, I'm sorry, someone's outside my door with music. So, Deku's on the couch in the dorms, and he's watching TV when a police report comes up of 4 heroes missing, with a villain suspect with a quirk called dimensional transportation. And the next day, Deku gets an offer from Ryukyu and Nejire, telling him that his internship has been terminated between him and Night-Eye because he is unfortunately dead. So he accepts an offer for an internship with Ryukyu and Nejire. When they're out patrolling, they encounter 3 villains. One with a water quirk, one with a fire quirk, and the third one being the dimensional transporter villain. The dimensional transporter is in the back, just punching a civilian in the face. Deku runs up to him and tackles him and gets teleported away to Danmachi. The dimensional transporter is on the ground with the hostage that was being punched in the face by the villain running away, and Ryukyu and Nejire taking down the other 2 villains. Then Nejire zaps the dimensional transporter villain and he is knocked out. They go to Ryukyu's agency to a interrogation room where they interrogate the villain and tell them where he went. He explains that he's teleported to a different dimension and there's no way to get him back. Ryukyu sends the villain to prison and informs All Might, Class 1A, Shota Aizawa, and Nezu, I guess, that they cannot get Deku back. So everyone hopes that Deku is going to be okay. And at night, while All Might is sleeping, worrying about Deku, he gets a dream of Nana Shimura and the other predecessors talking to him. They explain that Deku still has One for All, but he can no longer transfer it in that world that he is in. So the power to transfer One for All is back to All Might. So it's completely the same quirk, but he just doesn't have it. When he transfers it, it's going to be the exact same as Deku's. So All Might understands and is wondering if he can communicate through One for All. The predecessors say this quirk is unable to communicate through dimensions. And he is sad about this, but knows that Deku is strong. Meanwhile, in the Danmachi universe, the predecessors say the exact same thing, but vice versa, well, in Deku's way, explaining that he still has One for All, but not the transferability. He wakes up from a dream and is thinking, why am I in a dungeon? He is in the 20th level of the dungeon in Danmachi, next to a weird crystal with 4 dead heroes from his world. So the 4 missing heroes are dead. And this crystal is not a monster crystal, a monster magic stone, and a few monsters appear and go to attack Deku. And he is running away. He killed 1 monster, but is overwhelmed by the sheer number of attacking monsters. Meanwhile, in the Loki Familia, they are on a dungeon raid and come upon Deku, which is a weird acidic caterpillar. So the Loki Familia saves Deku, and Deku is thanking them. And he asks, what is going on and where is he? Finn, the captain of the Familia, says that you are in the 20th level of the dungeon. He says, what is the dungeon? Finn says, you're not from here, are you? What might be going on is going through his head. So they go up to the 18th floor, which is a safe zone. And this is before the Bell Danmachi storyline, just to make that clear. So they're in their little tent, and he's accompanied by Finn, Ainz, Gareth. If you don't know who Gareth is, he's the dwarf, and Reveria, the elf. Deku explains himself, where he comes from, his existence, his understanding of heroes and society, and his understanding that he might be in a different dimension. Finn, understanding the dilemma as much as he can, explains the Danmachi world, the dungeon, and the gods. So they come to an understanding that in his world he was transported to this world, and they don't know how to get him back. Everyone that was in that room now knows what is going on with Deku. They understand the dilemma he is in, and they finish their dungeon raid and go back to the surface. When they reach the Loki Familia, Loki is there, as always, trying to seduce Ainz. Deku is confused by this, but just doesn't respond to it. Loki is wondering who is this green-haired boy, so they explain themselves. Loki being baffled by the dilemma of interdimensional travel, and she understands that there's no way to get him back to his world. So she starts wondering, what is the power scale from his world to our world? So just to keep an eye on Deku, Loki accepts Deku as a Familia member. Deku, knowing what this is, thanks to Finn. So, when Deku's getting the tattoo on his back, his status, Loki sees Deku's stats and sees triple S rank for strength, endurance, and S rank in dexterity and magic. She is baffled by the pure power of this level 1 person. Because I'm not exactly sure if when you get your status, I'm not sure if you start off as strong as you are, like you have to start at level 1 or something like that, so I'm just assuming that's how it works. And she just sees the pure power of this boy. And when she looks at skills, she sees One for All, Black Whip, and Float. These are the only two things that the My Hero Academia universe knows about One for All, besides the power of One for All. So she is confused by Black Whip and Float, and Deku, having it explained to him by All Might from his previous predecessors, that Black Whip is a type of black energy that reacts to emotion and can ensnare anything. It's a very powerful skill to have, and Float is basically decreasing the gravitational pull of anything or something like that. I'm not exactly sure how Float actually works, but he explains how Float works, and he is going to master Black Whip and Float from the predecessors when he falls asleep again, I guess. But when it comes to magic, as I said, he has an S rank in dexterity and magic. In his magic, he has spell creation and mana or magic manipulation. What I'm basically doing is he can create his own spells and control mana at will. Basically, he's going to be able to create his unique style of casting and using magic. Loki being confused, because these are unheard of magic abilities. But she brushes it off as this kid is overpowered. You're wondering why I'm giving him mana manipulation and spell creation. It's just because I want to. And that is going to be it for this video. Thank you and hope you enjoy. Wait for episode 2.